Prince Harry did get into a physical fight with his uncle Prince Andrew, and the pair of royal spares did row over Prince Andrew's warning regarding Meghan Markle.
Royal scandals have always been messy, but this one, it's downright cinematic. Picture it. Two royal spares, both born into privilege, both carrying baggage that could fill a palace, allegedly facing off in a heated argument. One nephew, one uncle, and at the center of it all, Meghan Markle. According to a bombshell new book, Prince Harry once got into a physical fight with his disgraced uncle Prince Andrew, allegedly landing a punch over a brutal insult about Meghan. The palace, we're told, went into crisis mode. Harry's team denies it ever happened. Andrew hasn't exactly been quick to talk. And the author? He's doubling down, claiming his sources are rock solid. So, what's the real story? And why does this alleged dust-up cut so close to the bone for the royal family? Let's rewind. The firestorm began with the rise and fall of the House of York, a new biography by historian Andrew Lowney.
Barely mentioned on the other. It's the clearest way to see media bias in action. So here's an example of a story barely getting any traction on the right. Joe Rogan just accused the Trump administration of gaslighting its own supporters over the Epstein scandal. It's a rare moment.
The book was already generating waves for its deep dive into Prince Andrew's personal life. From his disastrous ties to Jeffrey Epstein, to reports of suitcases of cash, to an unflattering portrait of how he treated palace staff. But buried in its pages was an even juicier revelation. Lowney claims that in 2013, during a private family gathering, Prince Andrew made a cutting remark to Prince Harry about Meghan Markle. A remark so harsh that it allegedly sparked a full-blown physical fight. In the author's telling, Andrew didn't hold back. He allegedly called Meghan an opportunist, too old for Harry, and went so far as to predict the marriage wouldn't last a month. Those words, the book says, lit a fuse. And the result was a scene straight out of a soap opera. The setting wasn't a grand state banquet. It wasn't a formal meeting. According to the book, it happened in an unguarded moment. No aides, no protocol, no cameras. 1 second, Andrew is allegedly unloading his opinion. The next, voices are raised.
Prince Andrew, his royal oafishness, sex-obsessed, vulgar, vile bedroom habits, and a Meghan bullying bombshell, all exposed in devastating book royals tried to ban.
Harry, the spare who had already shown a quick fuse in his military and private life, reportedly went from calm to volcanic in seconds. Witnesses, or at least those claiming to be within earshot, describe the argument as fast escalating, personal, and laced with insults. The verbal sparring allegedly turned physical when Harry landed a punch, leaving Andrew with a bloody nose. It wasn't a long, drawn-out brawl, more like a flash fire. But in palace terms, even a few seconds of physical contact is a 5-alarm scandal. Staff reportedly scrambled to separate them. And then came the real challenge: keeping it quiet. If the book is right, Andrew's choice of words was calculated to sting. Calling Meghan an opportunist is one thing. Predicting her marriage wouldn't survive 30 days? That's a direct hit at Harry's judgment, his loyalty, and his personal life. And let's not forget, Meghan wasn't just any partner. She was the woman Harry had chosen outside the palace system. The person he defended again and again against relentless press attacks.
What was probably most fascinating is that Harry, a man who, by the way, never questioned that very odd-looking Michael Jackson wannabe Omid Scobie when he decided to reveal to the world that King Charles and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, were so-called racist.
Andrew also allegedly called her too old, despite Meghan being the same age Kate Middleton was when she became a mother of 3. The jab didn't just insult Meghan, it insulted Harry's decision-making, and by extension, his independence. For Harry, this wasn't idle gossip. It was a betrayal from within the family. And unlike the tabloids, which could be ignored, an insult from a royal blood relative was harder to swallow. The reaction from Harry's camp was swift. Within hours of the story surfacing in the press, his spokesperson issued a sharp, surgical denial. Prince Harry and Prince Andrew have never had a physical fight, nor did Prince Andrew ever make those comments about the Duchess of Sussex. Legal letters were reportedly sent to outlets carrying the claims. The aim was clear: kill the story before it spiraled into days of damaging headlines. But the author, Andrew Loney, refused to back down. He insisted his sources were unimpeachable, hinting that there was even more information that hadn't been made public yet. That only kept the story alive.
Denied that. But when it came to these allegations, he did release a statement to his favorite US tabloid People. Prince Harry denies physical fight with Prince Andrew and comments.
Meanwhile, palace insiders were left in an impossible position. If they addressed the alleged comments directly, they'd have to explain why Andrew would say such things. And that meant reopening every uncomfortable chapter of Meghan's relationship with the royals. So they opted for a familiar play: downplay, deflect, and hope it faded. If the palace hoped Andrew's past would fade quietly into the background, this book yanked it back into the spotlight. Andrew's history is already one of the most damaging in modern royal memory. His friendship with Jeffrey Epstein ended in disgrace. The infamous BBC Pizza Express interview became a PR masterclass in how not to handle scandal. His military titles and public duties were stripped. Behind the scenes, former staff have described him as demanding, dismissive, and prone to outbursts over trivial matters. And yet, for years, the palace appeared to shield him from the kind of relentless media scrutiny Meghan endured almost immediately. That double standard hasn't gone unnoticed, especially now. Critics point out that for Andrew, a man with his own crumbling reputation, to lecture Harry on his choice of wife is the very definition of hypocrisy.
Person for the Duke of Sussex telling the magazine, "I can confirm neither of those things are true. Prince Harry and Prince Andrew have never had a physical fight, nor did Prince Andrew ever make those comments about the Duchess of Sussex to Prince Harry."
Public reaction was immediate and divided. Supporters of the Sussexes framed the alleged confrontation as proof of Harry's loyalty to Meghan. Even some of Meghan's critics admitted Andrew was the last person who should be judging anyone's character. But others saw it as another example of the chaos Meghan's presence seems to bring to the royal family, a catalyst for conflict, whether intended or not. The alleged fight also reignited whispers about Andrew's strained relationships with both William and Harry. William reportedly never forgave Andrew for making dismissive remarks about Kate's middle-class background in her early days as a royal. Harry, according to the book, told William he hated Andrew after the Meghan comments. In a family that survives on careful alliances, alienating both brothers is a dangerous position to be in. The palace may want this narrative buried, but it has all the elements of a story that sticks. A disgraced royal with a checkered past, a prince with a history of quick tempers, a marriage that remains one of the most polarizing in modern royal history. It also plays into a deeper cultural fascination with the spare dynamic. Both Harry and Andrew have lived in the shadow of an older, more important sibling. Both have bristled against the limits of their roles. Add Meghan into the mix, a figure who challenges every traditional expectation of a royal spouse. And you have a storyline that feels almost Shakespearean. Rivalry, loyalty, betrayal. So, was there really a punch? Was Meghan truly called the biggest mistake in Harry's life? Or is this just another round of palace intrigue, perfectly timed to sell books? Harry says it's all false. The author says it's all true. The palace says as little as possible. And Meghan? She doesn't need to say a word, because every headline keeps her right at the center of the storm. One thing's for sure. When royal tempers boil over, the fallout lasts far longer than the fight itself. And if Andrew thought his comments would be forgotten, he's about to find out. Nothing disappears faster than royal loyalty. And nothing lasts longer than royal scandal.